Hi, I'm Julie Henze, an artist, urban sketcher, and art teacher dedicated to guiding you on your creative journey. I'm also the founder of Brave Brush Studio, a membership for amateur artists and urban sketchers that will help you unlock your creativity and find peace and joy in the process. If you ask me what the best way to learn sketching or painting is, I would tell you to sketch the same reference multiple times while actively trying to improve. Each time I do this, I discover something new, and that's how real growth happens. But I've also learned that just repeating the same sketch without reflection doesn't help that much. I've done it myself, making the same mistakes without realizing it. So today I'm going to show you my process for sketching the same subject more than once. It's about repeating what works and making small adjustments where they are needed so we improve. Are you ready? Let's get started then. So this is my first sketch, my first painting, and I had no real plan of when I started to paint it. The only thing that I wanted to create is the look of these three autumn trees, and I thought they should be of a different color, just that I can create a more realistic look of like autumn trees somewhere. And I wanted to add a sky to it, and also a reflection and a background. And the background, I thought it would be really nice if it will suggest some trees in the background. This is what I wanted to do, and further, I didn't have any idea about how perfect it should be or whatever it is. I just wanted to play around with the colors and create something rather than just put them on paper, like a swatch, for example. And practice, of course, a little bit. It's also my goal of this year to develop my skill, my watercolor skill, and get better at it. So I started with this little painting, and yeah, I've learned something from that. So here's the first thing that I want to share with you. I will start with the good things that I see here. I really like the sky here. It's so beautiful. I think it's not too present. You can see that it's in the background, but at the same time, it has a very, very nice color. It's kind of bright, not too bright, however. This is exactly what I wanted to have here. Just beautiful. I really love it, and I would use it probably in more of my sketches. The trees, let's talk about the background first. I like this background between the trees. I think it looks really cool. It's dark, but not too dark. There is a suggestion of trees in the background. However, I think if you really have trees in the background, you will probably have something visible from them here as well. So it's not very realistic, but it wasn't about that. So it was just to try out the colors, to how they work together. Also, it's a very challenging thing to paint with light and dark colors in the same area, because I wanted them to mix a little bit, but not too much. This was also a goal for me for this little painting. What I also really like here is that I kept this part very light, and I added the shadow here to create a suggestion of the separation between the ground, the grass here, and the reflection. There is also something that I've learned from this sketch, and that's especially about the trees themselves, because they look a little bit too present. They are these are just like three separate trees, all the same, just the colors different. Not very realistic, right? And this is not what I wanted to see here. I wanted to create a more abstract look, and also that they flow into each other, and that it's clear that these trees in the background are also somewhere in between. So, and I thought I will take it into my other sketch and I will try it out once again. And then I created this picture. As you can see, I do it all on just very small pieces of paper. I don't use good paper. I mean, this is watercolor paper, by the way. It's watercolor and it's cotton paper because it's very important for the technique that I want to use here. But these are small pieces. It's not glued on all the four sides or whatever. Yeah, it's just kind of draft paper for me because I already used the other side for something else. Okay, so the second sketch that or second painting that I created was a little bit better, I thought. And here you can see that the trees are a little bit better because they're already, I don't know how to show it. They are already more like, they flow more into each other, and there is a very beautiful suggestion of many more trees than three of these ones. And then I thought maybe it would be a good idea to add a tree in the foreground to create some depth, just to try it out. So I also liked how this worked. Actually, the dark parts in the background, they are now a little bit looser, also a little bit lighter, maybe more suggestive, and this is what I really like here. However, as for the whole picture, I still didn't really like how it turned out. I thought it's very close to what I wanted to show in my painting, but it could be even better. So then I made the third painting, and let me show you. I think this one was the best one because this is what I really wanted to create. A very suggestive look at more, and there are more, many more trees now. There is not that much depth. It wasn't my goal per se, so I wanted to create this suggestion of a very, very loose watercolor, and I'm very happy with this one. I think it turned out exactly as I wanted to. Also, the reflection is really great. I thought about it when I painted this reflection. I thought, okay, it's already better than the first one, but I want to create a more a more realistic reflection, because if you see an orange tree here, it will also have a reflection in water, of course, and this is what I did here. I think it really looks great for me, at least. Okay, so now I want to show you another sketch that I actually did in pretty much the same manner, and that's this one. I started to paint this. I had a reference that I really liked, and I thought I want to create a very expressive picture. And as you can see, it didn't turn out that beautifully. And one of the things that could be a reason for that is that I don't really understand how this paper works. This is a different paper than I used before. It's much thicker and it has a very different structure, I think. Maybe it's a really great paper, but I just didn't get how I have to work with that. I got all these weird spots here and I didn't really like it. And also the colors got very pale. But I practiced with this picture, and I thought, okay, I don't really like how it turned out, and I blamed the paper. Why not? Sometimes it's just the reason that your sketch doesn't look very beautiful. So I thought I can try to make another one. And I did. And I like this one much more. Also, I added the red roof because I thought otherwise it looks a little bit boring. And I wanted to add a very bright spot to it. And I think it looks much better. However, now I think there should be also the red reflection of this roof. But that wasn't actually what I wanted to talk about. Here, in this sketch, I noticed that it was very difficult for me to create a beautiful background, and it was too detailed or too busy. More, it was too detailed in the first place. But because it's cotton paper, you can easily remove color from paper, but not entirely. And then I noticed that it's still very, very busy. And this is not what I wanted to have here, because it's all, the focus is here and it's all about this part. So this should be actually less present, less busy. And what I also didn't like here, or what I wanted to practice in this sketch, was the difference between the darkness in the background and the light parts in the foreground. And it didn't really work in this sketch. So I wanted to just to practice with this skill, with this this part. And then I took a piece of paper and I thought, yeah, I will just try to practice with it, to try to practice with creating a less detailed but a more interesting look. Behind the house, it's not the same house, of course, and there is also no reflection. It's not about that, but I only wanted actually to play around with the background. And here you can see that I especially practiced with the contrast between the fore and the background, the trees in the fore and the background, and the light and dark colors. And I think here it already looked quite well, but I wasn't that satisfied yet. So, or maybe I was, but I thought I want to practice more. And then I also created this sketch, and here it looks even better. The colors are bright, but it's not too busy, and at the same time there is a lot of contrast between the lighter parts of the trees and the darkness in the background. So this is what I wanted to share with you about this practicing with this sketch. And as you can see, I don't even try to make the final sketch. It's for me all about practice, all about understanding watercolor, and all about trying out different things and see what the possibilities are. And the last sketch that I want to show you, it was this one, and I actually really like how it turned out. Also, this was my first sketch of this mill, and I really loved how the sky turned out. But what I wanted to try out in the second sketch, or in the piece of this sketch, is the contrast between the light, especially here on this part of the windmill, and the background, the sky. Because I thought it looks quite well, but if this part would be even lighter, it will probably look even better. So I left it like that, and still I really like this sketch, but I tried out something different. Oh, not different, but I tried just to make this part lighter. And as you can see, it turned out a little bit different. Of course, it's also just a part of that sketch. and it's on a different paper. But yeah, I think this is what I actually wanted to have in this first sketch, especially if you see the difference. This part is much lighter. I love the color better. Also, this part, I think it would look better here. Um, yeah, still, it's something that I just wanted to practice. I'm not going to tell myself that this sketch is not good and this one is much better. These parts are bad, and I don't know. I'm not a good painter because of that. It's not what we practice with something like this. What we practice here is actually to develop the skill, to take small steps every single time when we try out new things, when we try out a new technique, for example, or when we try out how the watercolor will behave, or something like this. So I think that's a really good method to develop your skill. If you're new to sketching, remember that it takes time to develop the skill of working out what you need to improve. One way you can speed up this process is to learn the fundamental sketching techniques from a teacher who can give you targeted feedback. That way, you know that you're practicing the right techniques, and over time, you will learn to review your own work more effectively. If you found this technique helpful, consider to joining us as a member of Brave Brush Studio. We've just kicked off our group run through of my 4-week course on the basics of watercolor. You will learn the essential watercolor techniques you need for urban sketching, including materials, creating beautiful washes, and how to loosen up. We also have 2 live sketching events each month tailored for beginners and intermediate sketchers respectively. Plus, there is a live Q&A for you to get constructive feedback on your progress, and you'll be welcomed into our supportive community. Have you tried sketching the same subject multiple times before? Has this video inspired you to do so? Let me know in the comments. And that's all for today. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Happy sketching, guys, and I'll see you next week.